Well, hello, fellow traveler. I have quite the message to relay to you for the portal report tonight. I was out and about with Ted. We were going on a walk and I was in search of resilient beauty. And we stepped out the door at dusk and the sun was just starting to sink onto the horizon. It was a beautiful day out here today, relatively mild, and the sun was out. And it was just an ideal time to go for a walk at sunset. I often like to do that just to still my thoughts and enter into a different kind of space, a different kind of presence for the nighttime. It's a little bit of a ritual for me. It also allows me to let whatever happened during the day sink away into the horizon and tap into a new kind of energy. Often I use the nighttime for working on creative projects and tapping into sources of inspiration and also restoration as well. But it does sort of mark that in-between place where I get a moment to think about the day's experiences and sort of open up space in my consciousness for what I want to bring in during the nighttime. And the skyline was just so beautiful tonight. It looked like a watercolor. It was so soft. I took photos, so I'm going to share them with you here. The skyline was just so soft, and the clouds had a beautiful textural quality to them. There was just this pastel softness, and it evoked a certain kind of feeling in me. And I was just really taking it in and enjoying the beauty of it, enjoying the art of nature itself, and really just finding that source of resilience that we've been talking about, the resilience that's found in the beauty, the way that can really fill us up and make us feel that even though we may be dealing with harsh circumstances or difficult situations in our life, that there still are these moments that remind us what is truly meaningful and do give us a sense of inspiration and purpose to really value the gift of life. And I was just having one of those moments and kind of taking it in. And as I continued to walk with Ted, all of a sudden I heard the cry of a falcon. And I looked up and I was shocked to see a flock of 4 gyr falcons, which are beautiful white falcons. It was such a striking image, and I knew it was significant because falcon is one of my personal medicines that I work with quite frequently, but not often that you get to see a flock of gyr falcons like that. And 4 of them, it was so personally meaningful. But what was wild is after I saw the falcons, the skyline changed and it looked almost like falcon feathers streaked through the sky. I've never seen anything like it, nothing like it ever. And it was so striking. I had to capture the moment. So I wanted to share the image with you so you could tap into the energy, so you could grok the energy yourself. And those particular clouds, those cloud formations are called cirrus clouds. They're ice crystal clouds. Some call them mare's tails or feather clouds. And they're formed by strong winds high up in the atmosphere near the jet stream. And when you see those clouds, they're an indication that the weather is about to change in 24 to 48 hours. Usually it brings rain or snow. So of course I want to collect some moon water. So I have a vessel outside ready to catch the oncoming rain or snow. Even if it comes in as snow, it'll be quite appropriate because the snow will thaw And that really does capture the energy we've been talking about, the thaw coming on. Isa moving into Lagos, the frozen state, giving way to the transformational fire, to the warming trend, and moving into the flow of that river of life, that flow of intuition, that flow of the water elemental, and really embodying those qualities of mutability, being able to take on different forms. And it was just such a wild thing to see that, and to see those sort of atmospheric waves in the sky. And also that imagery that has been coming in for a while about the air in the water. Because they do look like ripples. You know, they're gravity waves is what they are when you see those cloud formations in the sky. And the ripples are formed on the cloud deck, and that's what you're seeing and perceiving with your eyes. And they're very similar to the waves you see in still pond when you skip a rock across it, you know? That ripple effect. And I thought that is quite an interesting omen, the way it all came in with the 4 gyrfalcons sort of signaling the cry. And 4 is the number of the elementals, aside from the ether or spirit elemental, which is drawn down and brought through falcon. Falcon retrieves messages from spirit, comes in to deliver messages. And when we're looking at gyrfalcon in native tradition, when you get a message coming in from gyrfalcon, it is a message that is meant to flow through you like the wind and to pass through you onto the collective, onto the people, so that it can inspire them and it carries out on those airwaves, creating a ripple effect in the collective consciousness. Gyrfalcon brings in the message of coming into elemental alignment, mind, body, spirit, and environment, coming into true communion, alignment. This is what brings us into synergy with the collective consciousness. And so this is how you can start to bridge that gap where there is lack of understanding in the collective, where there is division. This is how we can start to unify and bring about alignment by harmonizing ourselves, body, mind, and spirit, with our environment, with nature, entering into a state of communion. And there is a way to have resilience in this. There is a way to tap into the resilience of nature through our own experience of direct contact and synergy with that natural world around us. So there's something coming through right now pretty strongly about having situational awareness. Read the room, read the energy around you. It's communicating to you. It wants you to enter into communion with it so you can better understand. You know, it's interesting because just with those cloud formations and those air waves, those atmospheric waves, so to speak, I do feel like we are experiencing some kind of an energetical shift here over the next 24 to 48 hours is when something is really going to start to swell. We're going to notice a ripple effect in our lives. There's something that we are going to experience on every level, mind, body, spirit, and environmentally. And it would do us well to be mindful of this, to really clue into it, to be able to read that energy, interpret it through us, and take time to sort of sit in this port, not setting sail. Because there's a saying, there's lore about when you see those particular formations in the sky. And it's said that mare's tails and mackerel scales make tall ships take in their sails. So there's something about, it's not time to head out on those waters yet. It's not time to set sail, but it is time to be prepared. It is time to understand these uncharted waters that we're about to enter into through being able to have that environmental synergy, that state of communion, and understanding how we can ground out the energy through us so we can move through it. So we can move through it with a state of mastery. Because you see, the gyrfalcon is called Master of the Sky. They're also known as the Noble Hunter because they have historically been used by those who are of nobility or royalty for falconry, for hunting. They're master hunters. And they very much come through as a message to be passed on to the collective to instill courage in the face of change, determination, activation of your will, and to waken, stir the leader within you. It's time for you to rise up as master of the sky, to be able to draw down your inspiration as it's wanting to be expressed through you, to be able to take an action with single pointed focus and know that you will hit the mark because you have the ability to navigate harsh spiritual and physical environments that you may find yourself in just by nature of the juncture we're at this point in our reality. Things are coming to a head, and there is the call to awaken, to stir, and to take action, but not just any kind of action, an action that's based in clarity, integrity, focus, awareness, and being able to understand the nature of the landscape you're moving through. It's important. Now, gyrfalcon also comes as a messenger that though your environment may be harsh, you are protected from evil spirits. You are being liberated currently from oppressive forces. And usually when you're being freed from oppressive forces, the first thing that you experience is almost a magnification of the tension or what is out of harmony in the environment, what feels off in the atmosphere. And yet you are watched over. There can be protection coming in from angelic forces. One of the reasons why I pulled out the Angel Tarot and the Occult Tarot to work with tonight. It was coming in pretty strongly. Gyrfalcon is dominant culturally across many different traditions. In Norse tradition, it's always a sign that peace and justice will be preserved at all costs. It also lets you know that divine aid is at hand and is helping you in navigating earthly turbulence that you may be moving through. Also helping us in the delivery room of these collective labor pains we are experiencing and birthing a new world. In Celtic tradition, the feathers were often collected of the gyrfalcon as a coat of armor. A single feather, it was said, could be worn in battle and it would ward from harm. It would also protect the warrior in the journey ahead. And so this is the kind of covering you have at this time. I can't help but think of falcon when I think in terms of Norse tradition and bring to mind the quality of Freya. Freya, a very Venusian goddess within the Norse tradition who has a chariot that moves her forward, that's drawn forward by large, formidable cats. Cat medicine has been coming in recently, especially large cats like tigers, but that does evoke the same kind of energy, the energy to endure in moving forward. She also wears a cloak of falcon feathers. Those falcon feathers help her gain flight. They help her travel in the air. And they were also borrowed by Loki to craftily move through some challenging territory, the territory of the giants, to retrieve the power of Mjolnir, the hammer of Thor that was stolen from them and buried deep in the earth. Know your roots. There's treasure buried deep in the earth. It's a thing of power and has the ability to bring a tower, but a tower that breaks apart opposing oppressive forces, things that have served as limitations to the growth that is meant to come through now. And so this message coming through very strongly here, very strongly. And there is protection here. There's victory in the face of any danger that you are facing, and the favor of the gods is upon you. It's a very positive sign to receive. But there's also a need to have an acute sense of awareness of the power you hold at this time. Yes, magician. There's need for you to have acute awareness of the power that you hold at this time, because you have access to a power that's very raw, primal, and untamable. There's also a certain relentless quality in your spirit at this time. And so this is why the alignment in mind, body, spirit, but also with your environment is so essential. The actions you take carry quite a bit of weight. There's spiritual wisdom and magic that's being activated in you right now. And there's more. There's more to be revealed, but you have to have the eyes that can see it, which means you need to be on the lookout in your environment for that resilient beauty, because that's where the wisdom is going to come through. That's where you're going to retrieve your messages. You have to spot it on the airwaves. It's coming through atmospherically at this time. This is what's going to give you the information you need. It's going to help you discover hidden secrets, things of power that help you move forward in a different way. There's visionary power here in what is coming through that will inform your actions. And you want to make sure that you pause and you take time to decipher your environment, because that's what's going to show you the way through. And without this information, you could sort of injure yourself in a way, hold yourself back. It's sort of like using that sword and stabbing it through your foot to hold you in your spot. You know, it's sort of like the truth is acting like that at this time. You won't be able to move forward until you acknowledge a certain truth. So when you hold Fraggle Rock, you hold the answer, you need to know where to point that tip. And it's more looking in your environment. That's where your answers are found. That's where you're going to find your point of focus, your discernment. This is what gives you the only ammunition you need for any harsh territory you're moving through, is to understand your environment, to have this situational awareness. It will also let you know where there is a need for vigilance. This is when we learn how to be master of the hunt through mastering the skies, mastering that which is the prana, the life force energy that is yet to come into form, has yet to come into form, and yet carries the inspiration, the inception of what is ready to come through creatively through your actions into form in material reality. It's a really potent energy, and there's a message that comes with it. It's to awaken you. It's to awaken you. It's time to stop circling. It's time to stop circling your life and instead get in the center of it. It's time to take action, but not any kind of action. Action that is informed through a sharp sense of focus. There needs to be precision in this action, and that's why it's not time. It's not time to set sail. It's time to hang out in the port for a moment here. A moment to notice the shifts in the weather. Notice what's changing atmospherically. It was 20, 22 on the clock when that came in. You see, there's some kind of judgment coming through here. And it is that judgment, that focus, that awareness that actually opens up the road of the Fool. And it leads to a moment of power. And it leads you to the path of purpose. This is also you coming into alignment with your path of purpose. So really pay attention in the lead up to that Libran full moon, the flower moon that is coming in on Wednesday. It's a very pivotal shift, you know, for Falcons. Falcon is one of the symbols of Aries. And with the 4 coming in, it does evoke the 4 cardinal points. And Aries and Libra, they're one of those cross points on the cardinal cross. But we also have Capricorn and Cancer there too. We know we got Saturn, Capricorn's ruler, hanging out with Neptune and Aries right now. And currently Jupiter is forward in the house of Cancer, which is what brings in blessings and also what we need for expansion. So I feel like this is really significant at this time. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Wow. The way the symbolism came through there. Yes, Knight of Pentacles. You see, we're going to get what we need in order to really anchor the vision that needs to get rooted here. It's coming in, but there is a need to pause, right, before entering the waterway here. We're going to really understand the lay of the land, the way that we need to move, and the precise action that needs to be taken in order to secure the field is how it's being translated here. And isn't this wild? It says right here, makes birds appear and behave as though tame. See, because I mean, the gyrfalcon is a predatory bird, very, very fierce hunter. There's a reason why they were prized by royalty. It's because they always hit the mark. So there's something about this. It's like such a fierce medicine is coming through for you in a very tame way, a benevolent way, a protective way. So there's something here that is really wanting to be recognized by you at this time. The messages are coming through. Falcons always communicate through synchronicities, and they happen environmentally. They don't happen when you're inside your house or when you're kind of sitting in your cubicle. That's not when you get to experience this kind of activation. You have to be out communing with the natural world to have this kind of synergy, this kind of communion come through. So please, whatever you need to do the next 24 to 48 hours, even if it is just going for a walk at sunset, just to sort of close your day. Anytime you can find space to get outside and just come into that state of awareness of your environment. Notice the resilience in your environment. Notice the beauty in your environment. You will be so surprised what it cracks open and reveals to you, because everything you need to access your power and to be able to wield it wisely is going to come through there for you. Because there's going to be a call, there's going to be a judgment call that comes through, and you're going to have to rise out of this place with whatever you've retrieved from entering into that space of communication with the world around you. And you're going to have to get your back up off the wall, and you're going to need to get down on it. You're going to need to move out of the sidelines and become an active participant in your life. This is a time right now in this space that we're working with leading up to that Libran full moon to look deeper into things. Study your environment. Study your own nature. Be curious about your own sensations, your own feelings, what's stirring within you. Where there's practical steps you need to take to lay down the foundation of your future, it's time to do your research and formulate the steps that you need to take to start to root something in your reality. Speaking on just a very practical level. This awareness, this planning, this stage here for your practical goals, there's something that you really need to have objectives here and not just kind of go at it willy-nilly, because the energy is going to get stirred up. And this will be an anchoring point for you so you don't lose focus of that North Star, so you don't lose focus of the destiny that is awakening for you, so you are able to navigate that territory without being distracted. You can be in the center of everything that's being stirred up around you. Very essential. 10 of Wands. There's a lot of responsibility. That's why you need to awaken the leader within you to hold this kind of power. But you will be successful in it. This is spiritual communication coming through to inform you of your purpose, to inform you of the road you need to step on now. And it's there for you. If you have eyes to see it, if you make space to receive it, if you're willing to listen and to hold the space for it, it will come through. It will come through, and you'll be crowned with the knowledge you need to achieve victory in relation to whatever you feel is oppressing you at this time. There's liberation there. The message is coming through very, very strongly. There is something that I do want to make you aware of, though, with this kind of power coming in. There can be an awakening of the creative life force energy, the Kundalini. And this is why it's so essential that you also have the same sort of environmental awareness of what's going on in your mind, body, and spirit, energetically as well. It's important because you need to manage the flow of that energy to be able to hold it in balance so that it can rise, so it doesn't become locked in different centers in your body. And in order to do that, it does require presence. It does require breathing into where you feel the tension. It's understanding where you're feeling the tension in your body and creating some space to allow those inner knots to dissolve and reveal the latent power that's held there. So pay attention to where your body does feel like it's in a state of contraction. Create space to unwind that tension. Drop in through meditation, just spending time curious about what's hiding out there, what's being held there. What is that about? And you don't even necessarily need to decipher what it's about or attach a story to it. But if you can just close your eyes and take your consciousness to that part of your body and start breathing into it, you'll notice that the tension dissolves. And sometimes when you do that, you'll also get other impressions that come in, visionary impressions. You may see certain colors. You may hear certain sounds. It can come through the clairs on many different levels. You might start to have a certain image build in your mind. You'll start to get information. You'll retrieve information from that. But what you're doing when you're doing that is you're clearing the channel so there can be a clean, even flow. an upward rising of that Kundalini creative life force energy. That's when the power can be awakened and held in a very conscious way to bring about transformation, not only in you, but also in your actions and the ripple effect it has on the collective. Okay, so important. But the reason why this is so essential is that when you're holding this kind of activation and this kind of creative power, you may notice that you're under attack from others frequently. And the reason why is that that creative energy can feel threatening. The power of it can feel threatening to others. And this is why it's essential to allow it to flow evenly and to rise so it doesn't get locked into the lower chakra channels, which are fundamentally important to root the energy. But it needs to be able to rise so that energy can also feed into the collective consciousness. Make sense? Then that's a power that is shared. And so it doesn't produce that same feeling. But just know, you do have the ability to hold this right now. And it is stirring in you and awakening in you right now. And so this is so important for you to start to have this kind of awareness so you understand the next actions that you need to take here. There is something that is coming in. Look at this. It's coming in with the Magician again. You hold strong magic right now. It can be held in a very balanced way. It can be held in a distorted way. And there's responsibility that comes with this. This is meant to be held in a way that it brings healing. It brings health. It brings revitalization, not just to you, but to the collective energy as a whole. It also is a very abundant, prosperous energy. What you yield within through doing this work, it will have tangible effect on your outer reality. This enters you into worldly power as well, which is another reason why, if it's not exalted, if you don't allow the energy to rise through the consciousness because you got blockages, it can come through in a distorted way that can provoke attack. And that can be something that needs to be sort of looked at if you're finding a lot of attacking energy coming towards you. How can you exalt the energy? Where is it getting blocked in your body? This requires awareness, focus. It's not something that you're necessarily going to tap into. And this really makes me think of that imagery of the star, right? This is not the way you would normally look at that. This is looking at quite a different lens. It's more of a leadership lens and really understanding the collective component of the energy you contribute, that there is power in that. And it's especially fundamental at this time to understand this. Through understanding this, you're able to connect with this divine energy safely and beneficially, not just for you, but with others. And that's the whole spirit in which this message was retrieved. It is something that is meant to pass through you like the wind and inspire others. So this is really being consciously aware that your energy contributes to the collective well-being. And this does require a sense of leadership. So the leader within you is being awakened right now. There's ethics that need to be considered here with holding this kind of power that's stirring in you. But if you hold it with wisdom, it's going to help you get through some pretty dicey territory and the challenges that all of us face up ahead, and will help others as well. You're also going to recover items lost. You're going to recover treasures that you don't even know you hold, treasures that will give you strength against any attacking forces you may confront. It can allow you to have a certain sense of impenetrability through imperceptibility. If you're able to refine your energy to a certain state of equanimity and harmony, you do obtain a certain level of concealment. You are able to attain a certain level of concealment that secures your star from any of the flying monkeys that may be hot on your tail to try to beat you to the punch, you see. We can't ignore that there is this dichotomous reality. We can't ignore that there's a lot of hostile energy in the world. And you may not have been understanding where the hostility was coming from and why you may have at times felt personally targeted. But it's because you hold this power, and this power is growing in you, and this power is meant to be acted upon. You're meant to take the lead in some way. This is something that's awakening. And as this awakens in you, it will draw in opposition. And yet you're not to have fear because you're protected. You're warded over. What you need to fulfill here is of great importance. Great importance. And where you need to be cloaked, you will be covered. You will be covered by the wings of Falcon, who is the largest of the falcons. So quite a wingspan there, covering you. It's just such a potent message that came through. 9 of Pentacles, yes. And this too, it's important as well that you are able to embrace that sense of independent energy at this time. It's only through going our own way and staying true to ourselves that we're able to access those qualities of leadership. And some of you may have been more comfortable at times in your life going along with the crowd. But this is when you're meant to take the lead in your life. In your own way, your own calling. There's something here that you're meant to lead the charge of. And it is your contribution to the collective energy. You're going to notice as you start to enter more into this flow, and as you start to develop this resilience that is activated through being aware of the beauty in your environment, and where you do see the resilience of the creative, the divine creative in your outer reality, when you're out in the elements, you're going to start to see that you're totally harmonious with that. And as you experience that harmony with nature, there's skills, there's abilities that you gain. So this is where you can have that kind of avatar come on board. You can call in the winds. You can grok the waters. You can hear the voice of the waters. You can hear the music of the Oran Moor. You can tap into it. It's a different kind of hearing. It's a different kind of seeing. It's a different kind of feeling. Your senses start to interpret information differently. And when you start to act upon this information, it's a key that opens doors of perception, doors of reality, into the zone of surreality, things that you didn't think were possible, but actually are realities that have been coexisting within yours the whole time. You just didn't have access to them because you were focusing on things that barred you from that knowledge. Now you're being asked to awaken that different kind of sight. This is what gives you resilience. It's also going to start to draw excellent familiars to you. And some of these familiars will come through nature. They will come through animal spirits that are giving you guidance, that are communicating to you on a deeper level, or even plant allies. Plants that are wanting to work with you, that have different medicines to share with you, different insights that they want to teach you. And you can work with nature in this way. And this is also part of what allows nature to have resilience. When we pour back into nature, when we don't lose that connection, and never has that been more important than right now. It's something coming through really strongly here. Really strongly here. You know, it's not very often that you get to see a gyrfalcon, but to see a flock of 4 of them, that's a bit like spotting a unicorn, you know? That's something that is really evoking an important message, that this is the way through. This is the way through with the 2 of Wands. This is what brings us back into our hearts. This is what shows us the way, where we feel like we're lost and we don't know the next step. And I promise you, if you are willing to have faith in this and you allow yourself to step outside and enter into communion with the elements over these next 72 hours, you will know the way. The way will open up to you. The road will rise up through you to meet you. You'll know what you need to do. You'll know exactly the next step you need to take. And it's so important and essential at this time that you hold this space in the lead up to the full moon to allow this to come through. There's love and there's wisdom here that wants to reach you, but you have to be accessible. You have to be open to receive it. It's so important. And there's also, it says right here, victory against those who would attack you. So there's a lot of cover coming through here, a lot of protection and signs of success, signs of endurance, the ability to endure, and also that there is relief. There's a breakthrough up ahead. You're about to enter a much different flow in your life. Things are not going to be the same. You're being liberated from what has oppressed you. And it's so important that you understand how you're being guided to move at this time, so you can set that in motion when the illumination comes, because only you can lead this charge in your life. It's under your responsibility. And so this is really a call to rise in a big, bold, powerful way. Big, bold, powerful way. Let me do a cut the deck here. And then I want to get an infinite tarot card or 2 to just speak of the elementals and how we're meant to commune with those, how we're meant to work with those, or what they're trying to express to us. And then, of course, I need to pull out some ARCANE BS too, because we just have to. So we have the 7 of Swords coming through here. And again, this is about retrieving something that was lost, retrieving something that was stolen, getting this back, finding healing. And this is what provides the way through. And it's interesting too, as I look here, because there's the caduceus here. And there's 2 of them. So this is the way opening to healing. But there's also that sense of union coming through as well, coming into contact with familiars, allies. There's a lot of hidden treasures that need to be retrieved. And when you think of what's stolen your treasures, it's not always somebody else. Sometimes it's your own direction of energy, the way you're expending your energy or what you're focusing on. It steals your time. It steals the moment from you. And then the moment passes you by. the directions that you need for the next step to be the master of the sky, to be the master of what's intangible and yet has a flow, has an inspiration that carries you forward, that feeds life into the fire, that activates our will and our determination to act on behalf of what really fuels our passion, that ignites our heart fire, and then merges with that beautiful flow of the water, that double spiral to be in the center of what's dissolving, even as the new creative energy is coming through you to take on a new form. To nurture that with the heart, with the care, with the attention, with the single pointed focus, because it is what has meaning, spiritual meaning to us, that roots it in material reality. And there's a harvest here. There's a harvest here, a harvest that you already hold, a harvest you already hold. And the only thing that can steal this dawn is by not being there to greet it. I really feel that. It's coming through so potently right now for the collective. Ace of Swords. That's the truth. You're leaving behind this part of you. The part of you that felt like it was down for the count. The part of you that felt oppressed. The part of you that felt like you didn't have what it took to rise. The part of you that felt like, well, what's the point? The part of you that has become tired, weary, apathetic, and feeling like there isn't any meaning in any of it, so why bother? This is recovering your meaning. And in recovering your meaning, really discovering the treasure that it is. There's also assistance coming in here. There's affinity. There's friendship. And maybe friendship coming through unlikely quarters. You're going to be surprised what opens up for you here. But there's the truth you need to cut yourself free coming through. The answers you need are there. You do have to make yourself accessible, though, to receive the memo. Otherwise, you're going to feel things far more challenging than they need to be. There's direct information coming through here that makes precision and action very clear. Precision in action, very clear. Let's see what elements we need to work with here. Bottom of the deck, look at that. There's the transformation right there coming in through the sky. A thread of transformation coming in to the center of you. There's something that you're receiving here. The inspiration, what you need for transformation is spiraling into you right now. It's awakening the dreamer within you. And all you need to do is to show up. Be in the center of it. Receive it. Be in the center of whatever is whirling around you. Take a moment to come into the center of it, to ground, to root yourself by just being out in nature, outdoors, in the environment. And in that space of receptivity, everything you need will come in to awaken the dreamer within you. Comes in on the airwaves. All right. Okay, let's see. Any other elementals we need to call on for assistance here? Any other elementals we need to harmonize with to receive this assistance and navigation that we're needing to get us through turbulent territory and help us make that safe juncture to that timeline we're meant to hop onto now. It takes us exactly where we need to go. That path that's been put under our charge. I think it's really cool that the energy is coming through in that way, though, that this is not the time of the follower. This is time to awaken the leaders. The leader that is within you. You are a leader. There's something you are meant to lead here in your life. And you need to be able to recognize what it is. And that communication is coming in. Bottom of the deck. That communication is coming in. It is an earth matter. There's something you're being asked to do here. Coming in with the energy of 3. And it was 49:44 on the clock. 4:44. Something's closing, right? But the renewal energy is already here. It's already here in tandem. There's death and there's rebirth, and they're holding hands right now. And you're at the center of it all. And this is the moment where some call is coming in, and there's something here that you are going to be leading in your day-to-day life. This is an earthly matter, and there's something that you're working on here. There's steps you need to take. There's specific actions you need to take to root this, and the time is now. The way is coming. The way is coming, but you are navigating some kind of tricky territory, and so it's very important that you have this instruction in how to navigate the challenges up ahead. Because as you're coming into this leadership role, there's going to be opposition. You may experience opposition from other people. You may feel like you're being attacked. You may also feel like you're dealing with a lot of spiritual warfare. That can happen when you are really coming into the recognition that, wow, I am holding power here and I need to use this power wisely. But when you're using it in that way, that builds a certain light force around you. And it draws in shadowy characters. It draws in shadowy energies. And it's because there's the desire to seize it all for oneself. And that's what distorts the power. And that's why it's so important for you to keep elevating the energy so that it can feed into the collective consciousness. That can really shift this sort of attacking signature that can be in the force field, right? Yes, it's this foundation. This is the foundation of what needs to be rooted here that will bring about a new sense of peace, restoration, reconnection also. It brings your sun into view. This brings the happiness in. There's something being rooted here. It also activates your fire. And this is something new being born here with Yoni. It's the creative feminine energy is building, it's swelling, it's ready to come on through. And that's interesting because I've been saying that for a bit. The mother's belly swells. And that really makes me think of maybe there's something here that is really bound up within the sacral chakra, within Svadhisthana. That is your creative center. It's also like the birthing portal. I mean, you got your navel right there. And so there may be something there that needs to be cleared because I feel like this fire is building and it's ready to come through. It's ready to come through. Also, Muladhara, just looking at the yoni, Muladhara root chakra, important to get really grounded in right now. And that is where the Kundalini rises from. So you want to be anchored here as you come into alignment with this. I feel this really potently. Okay, so it is about getting rooted in your body and noticing the sensations in your body. This is interesting because with the foundation here, a card just came out in reverse covering it. So this might highlight what the issue is. Yep, it's in the flow of the energy body. Something is off here. It's off. And it may very well be in the root and sacral chakras. The need to be attended to. Notice how there's sort of like these large bands of energy here. There's a lot that's stored up in the heart right now that needs to be activated and freed. But it's not able to be accessed because there's like depletion in the lower energy centers. So Muladhara root chakra, the need to get grounded, the need to get stabilized, focus on the foundation, get into the physical body. Svadhisthana, sacral chakra, the creative center. Also, when we're looking at the yoni, looking at how you're connecting intimately with your own energy in that way. Also, do you connect with that energy on your own? This is about your relationship to pleasure. It's also the pleasure you share with others physically. Do you still have old energies sort of corded in there? There may be a need to clear out those energies, take back this space, this creative space. Looking at the energy of Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, this is about your confidence. This is what sources your ability to step into a leadership role, to be able to move away from the sidelines and into the center of it all, to be able to shine. You know, it really carries that solar energy. And then once you're able to like clear out those lower channels, well, this is so beautiful. I mean, there's all of this luscious like heart space you move into. It's like it's been waiting for you to enter there. It is like that perfumed garden. It is that garden that is just so full and verdant, and it wants you to land in the center of it because everything you need is there. Everything you need is there. But there's also like this blockage here. There's blockage coming in here, Vishuddha, throat chakra. And this is so needed to be entered into this space. Once you enter into this space, then it can really free up the activation of your purpose. Your purpose comes through the throat chakra, but it's also your ability to use your voice. So a lot of you are awakening as messengers. And maybe some of you feel like, well, I don't really have a message to share, but you do. You do. You have wisdom. There's something that is supposed to come through you like the wind. And it's supposed to produce a ripple effect in the waters. It's supposed to stir inspiration and awaken creativity and reconnect people with their hearts, get them back into their feeling nature again, because there's been too much disconnection. And this is awakening in you, but it's coming through you because you're meant to lead and share your piece in that, you see? I feel like you'll really access that once you come into Anahata, the heart chakra, after you clear these blocks, after you boost the energy in the lower chakras. It's so needed. Then look at the vision, the visionary state of Ajna, the third eye, comes on board. Avatar on lock. You are accessing a different kind of information now. You have a different kind of focus. Crown lit. So this is really showing that the need is to focus on that foundation of the energy body here in order to root what is preparing to come in here. So spend some time with that. And I really found, you know, when it comes to harmonizing the chakra centers, it's so beneficial to be outdoors in the elements. Like, for example, Manipura's solar plexus chakra is benefited by time in the sun. You know, it really evokes the same qualities, the energetic qualities that you're meant to express here through you. Bottom of the deck, look at that beautiful Aquarian age energy. You see, this is how we strike that balance. And there's 4 sand dollars, just like there were 4 gyrfalcons. Oh, this is beautiful. Each one a star. Each one a star. See, so I feel like there's signs coming in for you, and they act like stepping stones. Stepping stones to let you know you are not alone. You are watched over, and you're being guided right now. And this is helping you bring about the transformation needed to enter that flow of this Aquarian age that we're moving into collectively together. What's this crossing energy? Yep. I get it. That's why it's so essential to clear the lower channels, you see, because this is what is the spark that ignites the transformation. Know your root. Know your root. Know your roots. Know your roots through knowing your root. Oh, this is wild. Yeah, see, this is this awakening moment. It's the Tower of Power that puts you in alignment with your path of purpose. Ooh. And that's coming in with the sky energy again. So, yeah, there's a lot of communication coming through the airwaves right now. Because it's merely there for inspiration. You have to be able to see it. You have to be able to witness it, to take it in, to recognize it. Because once you recognize it, it's activated in your consciousness. Then it starts to flow through the different elemental states. And we enter that process of alchemy here. Okay, cut of the deck. And look at that. The path opens. King of Fire, and it leads us all the way to the mountaintop, and that sun, that beautiful dawn comes into view, and it rises from the south, and it's also evocative of that Kundalini life force energy traveling through the chakra centers like liquid gold, taking all that base metal and transmuting it into the true treasure, the stuff of gold. This is what is spiraling in here. Very beautiful symbolism. It's a thing of power, but it's happening through you. The road rises up through you. This is what it is, man. There's something happening in your energy body the next 72 hours. But whatever it is, it's preparing you to give birth to this new beginning. So something is successful. Something is successful. Wow. Yeah. You split it again. There's that Queen of Fire. So we have Queen of Fire, King of Fire. You're retrieving your fire. You're getting the fire you need for your lantern so you can know the road. So you can know the road. And you can walk it masterfully. By first being master of the sky, having that ability to pan out, to be able to see the field, to be able to have that more expansive perspective. In order to access it, you just need to be receptive. And then everything you need will come through you. I'm telling you, this is a magic moment for us here. Let's go ahead and see what Arcane BS wants to say. Do you see? It's a bit like a treasure hunt. There's all kinds of signs, symbols, synchronicities that are going to come through. Letting you know what has been opposing you. Letting you know what you need to cut off. Letting you know you are protected. Activating your consciousness. Latent places in you where you've been cut off to access to certain key pieces of inspiration that need to awaken within you, but they have to be brought forward through the correct outer stimulus. They can only come through environmentally here. There's also something too about really tending to the physical body. This keeps coming through about being fit for the road ahead. And I think it's really beneficial also when things are sort of locked up energetically to physically move the body, get it moving, whether that's on a walk or hike or whether that's through dancing. Just move your body. Like there's so much that can be released that's held up in the cellular memory through moving the body. It gets the lymph moving, and that also invites in that inner flow. And you are going to find your flow, and you're going to be able to move against the current. You're going to have the resilience and the relentless spirit activated in you that's going to get you where you need to go. And it's also important too to be aware that as all of this is awakening in you, there's no more space that can be held for wearing masks. Like the masks have to fall. This is really about you awakening to the truth of who you are, and then allowing yourself to be seen. Allowing yourself to be seen in that place of inner recognition. It's so important that you show up in an authentic way. But there is liberation, there's freedom, there's upliftment that's coming in here. And there are allies. There's allies coming in here as well. Okay. What else do we need to know about these next 72 hours, Spirit? In the lead up to the full moon. What else do you want us to know about this? Yeah, I mean, there's something here where, you know, you got a key, but there's certain information you need to activate the power of that key that you hold. Otherwise, it's just sort of, it's a vessel that holds this latent energy that you're not able to access to open up your door of opportunity. But what's brewing here and what you're going to see once we pass through this Libran full moon, and it carries us forward to the new moon in Aries, is that there's a very wild, feral, adventurous path that's awakening for you. You're going to pick up the scent of this trail. And there's something this path offers you that it's going to give you more than your fill. It's also going to really awaken you and stir you and activate you and turn you on. Like you're coming into alignment with this path of purpose. But you need to activate the potential of your key. And the only way you can is through working in a synergistic way with the environment. So you can have the guidance you need for your next step. So you can spot the synchronicities. So you can understand the directions to get where you need to go. It's coming through in this way right now. And see, there is something that does need to be severed or needs to come to a close, because you'll see there's little skulls here. There's a skull on top of the key too. And it also gives me the impression of a skeleton key and a skeleton lock. So there's something here that once you activate that potential of that key that you hold, you can open up any door, and those doors can lead anywhere you want them to. It's so much that's on offer here, so much that can't be currently seen from your current vantage point, which is why you need to invite in this other sort of visionary sight. Okay, one more round here to cap this off. And this feels pretty solid for me. A very spiritual message coming in this week, you know. This is really what's needing our attention right now. It's the energetics of things, the signs that we need, so we can come into alignment with the true treasure and our path of purpose here. It is coming into view. So I feel like there is this moment where something does get revealed, something that's been concealed, something that's been held within, but it sort of awakens through you, like releasing your need to stay protective. It's like opening up into a different perspective, also a willingness to be seen, a willingness to interact, to connect with the world around you. And it opens up into this like flowering quality. And once you're in this like open space and you're able to interact with the world around you like that, all of those signposts and synchronicities you need come through. And yeah, you may have felt thwarted by the swarm, but you see, it's because currently, and isn't that funny, the beekeeper's not wearing any pants, you know? So it's like, it's those lower chakra channels that are needing clearing here, because this is what's making you susceptible to the attacks. It's only when you can have the elevated perspective of the true sweetness you're holding, what you really do truly hold here, and how it's so important that you protect this, because it's something that gives back to the collective. I mean, the hive, you know, the hive, it nurtures the whole colony. It's not just for the queen bee, you know what I mean? It's not just for the queen bee. even as, you know, the worker bees may be in service to the queen bee, there's the sweetness there is shared. The productivity that goes into this is shared. And when I think of the queen bee, you know, it makes me think of that feminine receptivity. And I think of that feminine receptivity, it makes me think of the earth itself. You know, Father Sky, Mother Earth. There's been such strong messaging coming through about the necessity to reconnect with the earth again. It's essential at this time. It's essential at this time. And yeah, I really feel like this is recognizing the blockages that are happening in the lower channels. And I can understand why there could be blockage in the root chakra, especially because the root chakra deals with foundational matters. It deals with your finances, your sense of home, your sense of belonging, your family, your place of origin, you know, your feeling of belonging, your feeling of connection, you know. And so this is really like a call, like, get reconnected again. The best way is to connect with the earth, the greatest sustainer, the greatest provider. People don't really recognize that as soon as you really start to connect with the earth itself, you start to really feel more supported. It's really true. And what you need is provided. 1:11:01 on the clock. I'm telling you, you know, that is the way through. That is the way through. Okay, let me go ahead and do a cut of the deck to cap this off. And we're going to call this good. Yeah, hold up, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait before you burn the bridge. Where you are wanting to burn a bridge, what part of you is motivating you to do that? Where is that coming from? Where is it coming from? Pause for a moment. I see you got the fuel and I see you got the fire. There just needs to be a shift in perspective in how you're using it. And finally, this card has showed up recently in reverse over and over and over again. But yeah, now we're cooking. Now you got it right. You need to look at the root. This is an energetic issue, and that's been coming through about this is a spiritual matter. Like the challenges you're facing, it's something of a more intangible nature. It's not so simple as taking a particular action. It's more about getting into your essential nature, clearing out everything that's sort of clogging up the waterway within you. And from there, you come into alignment, communion with the guidance and the direction that you need to take strong action rooted in your power that creates transformation in your life and has a ripple effect that influences far more than you can see at this current time. Far more than you can see at this current time. Really coming through strongly. And, you know, I don't feel like getting signs and synchronicities with the letter dice or a roll of the dice, because I feel like those signs, those synchronicities, they're meant to be discovered by you. So you need to go out and look for them and open up to life. Because if you do, I think where you've been missing the keys, everything you need to activate that latent power is going to come through. It's time to stop circling our lives. Take action to come into the center of it all, because it all spirals out from the center of us. Godspeed.